Hello beautiful Cancers, and welcome to your lunar insight video that will take you from the new moon partial solar eclipse in your sign on the 12th, 30th of July and culminating with the Leo new moon solar eclipse on the 11th of August, just after we move through the Lion's Gate. So these are the two most transformative times of the year. We are going into the eclipse tunnel where things can seem a little bit confusing, a little bit unsettling, rapid changes flow in and flow out of our lives very, very quickly. And this video is designed to guide you through the changes that are happening in the cosmos, the eclipses, the significant shifts of planets, and how they are affecting you personally, Cancer, in hope that it will guide you through this profound portal of transformation with ease and grace. So the sun is in your sign as we start the month. Happy birthday to all of the Cancers who are later born. And the first eclipse, the partial solar eclipse, is going to also be taking place in your sign. So it's very, very potent, it's very, very powerful to have an eclipse in your own sign. It acts as a supercharged new moon where you can set your intentions for the next 6 to 12 months, and really it's time to hone in and focus on where you're going, where you're heading, and which direction your life is taking at this moment. It's a kind of, when we have our solar return, when the sun moves to the sign that we were born and the moon joins it, it's a moment of review. How far have you come and where do you still have to go? What still needs to be worked through? So of course, the moon and the sun in your sign can amplify your already very emotional, psychic, receptive energies. So this can be a time for you where you really need to use extra self-care techniques to protect your sensitivity. You know, give yourself the time that you need to process whatever is coming up for you as these energies move and flow. So this new moon eclipse will be opposite to Pluto, who is traveling through your 7th house. There's a lot of focus in that area of your chart at the moment with Saturn there as well. So a lot of your lessons, a lot of your karmic issues at this time are arising through your connections with other people, your romantic partnerships, your business partnerships, and of course there's a huge focus on friendships as well in the cosmos at this time. And you've got Uranus in your 11th house amplifying that a little bit for you too, Cancer. So for you at this time, relationships are your point of transformation, your point of soul evolution. So this eclipse brings your awareness to the attention of this polarity in your chart, self versus other, giving and receiving, masculine and feminine. How in balance are they for you, Cancer? Because we know that you are a sensitive, nurturing, giving soul, but are you also giving that nurturing and nourishment to yourself? The grand water trine that forms around the time of this moon also illuminates your 5th and 9th houses along with the sun in your 1st. It's going to be aligning with Jupiter in Scorpio, who's turning direct right now in your 5th house, and Neptune in Pisces in your 9th house. So these are fire houses, and you may be really feeling the need to focus on your creative endeavors, to focus on what you're birthing out into the world. You know, Jupiter turning direct in the 5th house in the sign of Scorpio can really bring up some issues around self-love, around romance, around playfulness and joy and fun. So how often do you allow yourself to have that time to yourself where you can focus on your creativity, or you can just be with your loved one, or indulge your inner child? You know, perhaps there is some stuff around love and opening the heart that is also arising for you at this time, Cancer. There's also an earth trine forming as this new moon rises. Again, your 7th house is highlighted, Saturn in the 7th house, Uranus in Taurus in the 11th, and Venus, who will be moving into Virgo, into your 3rd house. So this again is a moment of connection. You know, these are the houses of the birth chart where we are sociable, where we're active, where we are being with other people and networking. And so this is a great time for you to call forward those connections which will help you solidify your purpose. Earth is the structuring element. So this can be a time where things are changing. You know, some relationships are closing down while others are opening up. People are shifting in and out. There are people coming in to support you with your purpose. There are people that no longer support your purpose. So for you, it's about trusting and tuning into that intuition and knowing who and what is good for you, Cancer. As the energies of the month unfold, the sun's going to move into Leo. It's going to leave your sign, it's heading to the sign of the Lion on the 22nd of July, which is your 2nd house. Mercury is also going to be going retrograde here during the eclipse season from the 26th of July until the 19th of August. So the 2nd house is the house of resources. So it speaks to us not only of our tangible financial resources, you know, the property that we own, the money that we have, but also it teaches us about the resources that we have within, the gifts, the talents that we can utilize to create abundance, to create prosperity, to create a firm foundation of which we can build our purpose, build our business, build our vision. So over the next 4 weeks, you can really expect these issues to be highlighted for you. You might become extra aware, Cancer, of again where you are giving, not allowing yourself to receive, where you're undervaluing yourself, where you're not being grateful for the gifts that you've been given, you know, where you're perhaps unaware of the different ways that abundance does flow into your life. So this is a time for you to practice gratitude, to practice opening to receive. It's a really good idea during this period to perhaps keep a diary listing all of the beautiful things that you have in your life that you can be grateful for as you focus on what you need to build for the future. So the big eclipse of the season is this Aquarius blood moon eclipse, conjunct Mars and conjunct the South Node. So this is a energy of liberating ourselves from the past, liberating ourselves from the connections that no longer serve, shedding, letting go old pain, old fear, old anger. And for you, it's an amplified energy, Cancer, because Mars has been retrograding in your 8th house. And he is very at home here. He's the ancient ruler of Scorpio, who is the traditional ruler of this house of your birth chart. And this is the deep, dark house. This is the house where we die to the old self, where we allow ourselves to be reborn. It's the house where we hold all of our fears, all of our psychological issues, all of the crisis and trauma that we might have endured. So when Mars transits here, we can feel ourselves doing a little bit of a fire walk through the underworld. I think I writ when I first writ the Mars retrograde horoscopes, I said that this would be like a Pandora's box opening. So it can be like, oh, all of this old unprocessed stuff, all of these shadows that I haven't faced, that I haven't integrated, that I don't own, that I don't accept as part of me. All of these fears around intimacy, you know, there's a huge focus for you here, Cancer, around relationship, around soul bonding and interaction with others, as Pluto and Saturn are highlighted in the 7th and Mars retrogrades in the 8th. So there's a real amazing opportunity here with this eclipse for you to just let go of all of this old programming, all of this old stuff, you know, because you are a sign that is perhaps the most nostalgic of the zodiac, that holds on to things. So we can use this as an opportunity to let go, to cut the cords, to cut the ties, to die to the old way of being. The amazing thing about the 8th house is it's not only the house of death, but it is the house of rebirth. It's the house of alchemy. So there's a lot of power to be found here. And Mars is all about desire, about passion, about power. So we might find ourselves also at this time reclaiming those parts of ourselves, that the power that we gave away. You know, it can be a little bit like a shamanic initiation where we go into the underworld, we collect the lost fragments of our soul so we can come back into wholeness. And as this transit ends, around the end of August, Mars will still be in the 8th house for a little while after that, but as he starts to turn direct, you can start to see the results of the hard work you've been putting in, and the rebirth will come. The shift, the change in consciousness, the change in your relationships. So a super, super transformative time that will be illuminated by the full moon. So this could be a great time for you to do a releasing ritual, perhaps using the element of fire to signify Mars and the phoenix rising from the flames. So we get a little bit of a cosmic respite after that. Powerful eclipse. Will still be in the liminal space, you know, we'll still be between worlds a little bit, because the eclipse corridor won't close until the final eclipse of the season in Leo. But during this period, Venus will move from your 3rd house of communication and connection into your 4th house. So this can be a time, Cancer, where you can reconnect to your roots, reconnect to your home, reconnect to your family, go within to your inner temple, do those things which nurture and nourish you. Venus will be in Libra in your 7th house, in your 4th house. So this can be a time of harmonious, flowing family relationships. This can be a time of coming together with those that you love. So that's what you like to do best. So enjoy and absorb that sweet energy that comes in on the 6th of August. On the 7th, Uranus is going to be stationing retrograde in your 11th house. So this energy will also be illuminated by the lunar eclipse as well, because it's going to be in square to Uranus, but it's highlighting, you know, what you've been learning, what's been going on for you since Uranus moved into this house in May this year. And the 11th house is the web we weave, the connections that we have, our friendships, our communities, our groups, our circles. So there may be some issues at this time, you know, you may be awakened to some things that you perhaps need to let go of in these areas. And the 11th house can be the online web as well. So maybe there's some reworking going on if you're a person that works with social media or, you know, has an online business as well. So we will be now in the dark moon phase. and the Lion's Gate will open on the 8th of August. So we're in this profound moment of spiritual rebirth and connection. You know, the Lion's Gate is the rising of Sirius, which to the ancient people signified the rebirth of the year, the harvest time. So we're receiving these amazing insights and spiritual downloads. And then we come up to the Leo eclipse, the final eclipse of the season, on the 11th of August. And this will be taking place in your second house and in square to Jupiter, who is in your 5th house, newly turned direct at the beginning of this month. So this can really again highlight that essence of using your creative abilities, using your gifts and talents to create abundance, to create joy and pleasure in your life. This new moon can be a really powerful, fertile time for you to call forward those visions, those manifestations that you were longing for. So really for you Cancer, you know, this month and this lunar cycle begins and ends with two very, very potent new moons for manifesting things in the physical world. So get your manifesting head on. And it's really interesting because the card that I picked for you is Goddess of the Ancient Skies, Temple of Lapis Lazuli. So this card reminds you that you are an intrinsic part of the cosmos, and you are a lunar ruled sign. You are the sign that is ruled by the moon goddess, the goddess of the ancient skies, who waxes and wanes. And that's part of your power, Cancer, to tune into the ebb and flow of life, to tune into the seasons and cycles. And this is reminding you the power of working with the moon at this time when the lunar queen is rebirthing herself in your sign. So don't underestimate the power of working with her as your ruling planet, and don't disregard your connection to the stars. This feels really powerful as Sirius is rising for you to receive this message. Be open to the downloads, be open to the insights, perhaps work with a piece of lapis lazuli, which is a stone that is so reflective, this little skull here, so reflective of the night sky. And trust your intuition, trust your vision, trust what is being revealed to you, Cancer, this month as you go through these amazing changes and transformations in your inner and outer world. So I hope that this video has served you and provided some insight for this time of acceleration. If you would like to connect with me further, you can find the links below this video. I'm sending you so much love, beautiful Cancer people.